For Ledger the evil and Ashley the human, fun will never end, it's cake time! Welcome back to cake time. Hello.
Hello. Woof.
I'm Ashley the human, this is Nitro the dog.
Yeah.
And today we're playing Seduce Me the Otome. It's a game that's mostly voice acted except for the main character, who is a female, so I will be voicing. And,
'Cause I'm busy.
yeah, he's busy doing shit. So, let's begin this. This is a fictional interactive narrative. Any character resemblances to real-life people are purely coincidental.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that.
Yep. Also, please know that the following game is made for PG-13 audiences. Please know that sexual, violent themes are explored in this game. Trigger warnings, abuse, implied rape, and suicide. You have been warned.
PG.
Please enjoy.
Why, hello. My, aren't you a gorgeous sight? Can I be honored enough to know your name?
No, you can't. But, I guess. So, we're gonna go with Ashy. Because fuck you.
You should do it all
A
caps.
lovely name.
Yep.
For a lovely person like you. Wonderful.
Eric, please leave me alone.
Eric, do your job.
Thank you!
Very well. This game was produced by Seraphim Entertainment under the direction of Michaela Laws and is powered by Ren'Py Visual Novel Engine. We truly hope you'll enjoy this story. I know I'll enjoy it, since you'll be in it.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric,
That's some creepy shit.
I'm fine. Farewell, my sweet.
He is an incubus, so... You know what an incubus is, right?
I have no clue.
An incubus is a male version of a succubus.
Oh, that's nice.
Come on,
So horny.
is that all you got?
Try me, asshole!
Asshole.
Asshole.
Crap! Missed.
Let's retreat for now.
No kidding. Let's get out of here.
That's right. You better run, you stupid punks. Stay out of our territory.
Bitch.
This formula, created in the 70s, is one of the most important in the field of financial theory. It is used to calculate the price of
why it
European-style
uses Scotland.
options and is widely used by option marketers, though there are some discrepancies that are now corrected with the modern viewpoint.
Rain. It's been a long time since we've gotten rain around here, but it is the season for rainy weather, so that's not exactly that surprising. Personally, I love the sound of it, the way the raindrops fell, like the soft patting of fingers. It was so soothing. Even looking at the droplets hit the glass of the window was strangely calming. For this reason, I felt lucky to have a seat next to the window, though I did more time spend. Though I did spend more time staring outside than I did paying attention in class. And since it was the period right before lunch, all I could think about was doing other things in my free time. Honestly, I didn't really care much for economics. Sure, I had good grades in this class, but it was only because I read the textbook and did my assignments as I had to. I was only taking this class because it was mandatory. If it were up to me, I probably would have taken another course. Luckily, it was my senior year, so after this semester would mean the end of high school, courses forever. Thank God for that! Nope, I skipped text. The only thing I really enjoyed going to school was meeting my friends and hanging out with them, but that was it. In short, I was done with high school. The start of the second semester brought a note of finality to it. I had already applied to so many universities the semester prior, I was expecting replies sometimes in the next few months. It seemed like the start of something new. Something would change. That is, if things could change. I stared at the faint outline of raindrops in the distance. For now, I was stuck in this class.
Miss Anderson.
Miss Phillips' raised voice interrupted my train of thought. Just when I thinking about class, I quickly turned my head to face the teacher. Hopefully she hadn't picked me just because she knows I was spacing out. Yes, ma'am.
Would you care to name the equation I set up on the blackboard?
Oh, I think I read about that in the textbook last night. It should be the Black-Scholes model formula.
Very good as always, Miss Anderson.
Look how fucking cute I am.
It's honestly
Anderson.
kind of scary.
Anderson. It followed me wherever I went. Most people didn't really know me by my first name, but rather by my surname. No doubt since the surname was a trademark of internationally famous and philanthropic Anderson Family Toys, and because the founder was my own grandfather. Suzu, one of my best friends, turned around and proudly gave me a punch on the shoulder.
Kick-ass girl.
From beside me, I heard Naomi, another one of my best friends, clearing her throat in obvious disapproval of Suzu's choice of words.
She means good job. Miss Capini. I care to tell me who the creators of this formula were?
Some guys named Black and Shoals. Fisher Black and Myron Shoals.
Very good, Miss Patterson.
Show off. Better study next time, Suzu. Be like us and study once in a while.
Yeah, I'm fucking Suzu.
Suzu rolled her eyes and slouched into her chair as Naomi gave her a small smirk. She always pouted when Naomi showed her up.
That's the end of today's lecture. Now, let's separate into groups and work on your projects. Remember, everything is due on Monday. Go ahead now.
Before I knew it, Suzu and Naomi had scooted their desks to align with mine, and we had turned into the Three Musketeers. Whenever the teacher let the students decide on groups, we always grouped together in our little trio. It was a sheer stroke of luck that we all managed to be in the same class, so we had to at least take the opportunity and stick together as much as we could. Besides, we were most comfortable around each other than, say, compared to being around other classmates. It just made sense for us to put our hands together for any kind of project. I took out the poster we were working on and rolled it open onto the 3 desks. We were pretty much finished with fulfilling most of the guidelines for the project, though we did still have to add a few finishing touches here and there. After working on making the poster a bit prettier, we sat back and inspected our work to see what we still had to do. Naomi, as usual, was the first one to look for any issues. She lightly tapped a pencil against her chin, staring intently at the project.
Alright, so let's see. We finished the budgeting section, the building leasing, and the cost for labor. What else do we need?
Suzu straightened up to look at the poster and stroked her chin. After a few seconds, her face brightened and she spoke up.
How about a company name? Huh? Did we really skip over that? Of course we did. You always go straight into the logical statistics and stuff that you completely skip over the fact. We need a name for our project. At least we caught it this time. What do we name it? Not sure. What do you think?
It always came down to me. Whenever there was something to be named or titled, I was the master in ending decision, even when I didn't want to be.
I like Trinity Corporations. That is way too predictable. How about the Dragon Company? What do dragons have to do with our project? What? It's a totally unpredictable name. It's hot. But our company sells bubble gum. Who said we can't produce spicy bubble gum? What do you think? What do you think?
Both of them looked at me expectantly, even though I wasn't quite sure myself. I didn't want to choose sides, but if it were up to me, I would say, okay, Trinity Corporations or Dragon Company?
Huh?
Trinity Corporations or Dragon Company?
Obviously.
Booyah! Dragon Company it is. Alright, now that we've decided on a name, now what?
As we entered our name game, a giggle scrambled my thoughts. Oh, Lisette. Huh? Who was that?
Ignore it, it's just Lisette.
I looked over my shoulder to see her laughing with her circle of friends, mostly comprised of popular people that were practically friends with everyone in the school. As a result, everyone in the school knew them. In the center of it all was Lisette White. She sat with a posture that indicated she was still working, but that she was also ready to casually chat about her day. She had an endearing balance of charismatic and awkward, which was readily apparent when she first talked to somebody. It was easy to make her smile and laugh, and she was quite the comedian as well. Basically, she was perfect. Not that she was like a robot or something, but she was the student that everyone else wanted to be. Lisette was bright, easygoing, and above all had her future laid out right in front of her. Unlike the average student, she knew what she wanted to do after high school, and as a result she was confident and ambitious, though sometimes it could rub a lot of people the wrong way. Moreover, I had known her ever since I was young, but it ultimately resulted in a rivalry that continued today. Of course, my friends knew what was between us, and upon seeing me glance at her, they shifted their attention to her.
She doesn't even look like she's working, in my opinion.
She probably is, but she's too much of a stuck-up priss to allow herself to look like she's actually doing work.
Oh, come on, Suzu. She may be a little off-putting, but she's not the giant priss that you're making her seem to be.
The day she isn't a priss is the day I turn into you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Never mind. It's about time. Let's bail.
Unsurprisingly, Suzu was the first one out of the classroom, slinging her backpack over her shoulder with ease, and she quickly strolled out the door.
Her seat isn't even closest to the exit, and she always manages to be the first one out of the door. I don't think I'll ever understand that.
Me and you both, Naomi, or I wish I was as fast as her getting out of here. Jacob,
Huh?
look at the choices. I need you to choose.
Liam, you both know me. I don't know what's happening, but
She gave me a smile, as if relieved by the fact that I felt the same way as she did.
See? Why can't she just be normal like the two of us?
It's Suzu, Naomi. Think about it.
Very true.
Man, you guys are slow. Are you coming or what?
We heard you the first time. Not everyone has rocket boosters attached to their legs when the bell rings.
Are you kidding me? That class was ridiculously boring. Even Miss Valedictorian here was dozing off a bit.
I do have to admit I was spacing out. And just because I answered one question doesn't mean I'm automatically the valedictorian.
Okay, so it wasn't too interesting. But you should at least pay attention when Phillips is talking about the important parts.
So you finally admit it. We're finally on the same wavelength. Welcome to the club, Patterson.
Please, don't call me by my last name. This isn't the classroom. And never in a million years will we ever see things eye to eye.
Despite this, they both busted out into laughter. Normally anyone would think that opposites like them would never associate with one another. But even though they were so different, their friendship somehow made a lot of sense. Maybe they were just perfect complements, or personally didn't dictate the possibility of their friendship. After all, we three had become best friends since preschool.
Alright, so where are we heading to first? Cafeteria? I think we can all agree that we're really hungry, especially after hearing about our company's line of deliciously spicy bubblegum.
Who would even buy that? I wonder.
Me? I would pay good money to get a taste of it.
You two like spicy food, after all. We entered the cafeteria, a bustling room filled with the aromas of different kinds of food. As we got in line, we ordered our meals and chatted freely.
Fries and the spicy chicken burger for me. That's my definition of a good meal.
I'll take a tuna sandwich and some juice. You're probably going to need water or something to curb all that spicy flavor, Suzu.
I can't be tamed by the likes of that. If it's spicy, then it's gotta be all or nothing.
You're crazy.
Hell yeah, I'm crazy.
I think I'm getting a migraine.
I think I'll go with... Cajun.
I don't know what that is.
Might as well go spicy today. Once we got our food, we settled down at one of the empty tables and putting our backpacks aside to finally dig into the food. Susan leaned back in her chair, tilting it back so she could rest her feet on the table by her food.
All right, then. Is there anything we want to talk about?
Bored already?
I know. Let's talk about...
Say boys, and I will never speak to you ever again.
Aw, why not?
What's so interesting about talking about guys? Not like any of us are gonna get boyfriends anytime soon.
We don't know that. What if one of us does get a boyfriend?
Like that's going to happen, Naomi. Look at us. I'm a tiny Italian. You're a ditzy blonde.
Hey!
No offense. And Anderson here.
No offense, but get
Yes,
wrecked.
she can find a boyfriend or girlfriend if she wants.
Or girlfriend?
She can be a lesbian if she wants.
Thank you. That's okay, Suzu. I'm not sure I want a boyfriend yet.
Why not? It's our senior year. Might as well get a boyfriend.
Maybe she's just not interested in a relationship, Suzu.
Well, it wasn't about wanting a relationship, but more of there was no one interesting enough to be in a relationship with. Don't get me wrong, I'm an open person, but there's not many interesting guys in the school to go out with. Who knows? Time will tell. Naomi looked at me, wanting to continue the conversation. However, before she could speak, the speakers in the cafe started up and an announcement echoed through the cafeteria.
Miss Anderson, please come to the main office immediately. Please bring your things with you.
Oh my.
Looks like our plans have been cut short. The men in white coats have finally come to get you.
Suzu, don't
Shut
joke
up.
around. What if it's serious?
Fine. If something happens, just call us.
I will. Funny enough, something did happen. And it was serious. It was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. The rain had become heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, though I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Not that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass underneath my feet. The only... Under the monotone eulogies that floated around my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. It was only then, when the speech ended, that I was finally able to raise my head. The small gathering of people, mostly made of relatives that I didn't even know or related to me, were huddled around a simple, small grave. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops on umbrellas. If it weren't raining, everything would probably be in a heavy silence. I looked beside me where my father was standing and holding a large black umbrella for our small family of 3. His face was emotionless, a strange sight next to my weeping mother. I was wondering what was going through his mind. After all, etched into the smooth gray tombstone before us was his father's name. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small. Only close family were allowed to come. Slowly, though, people began to leave, leaving my father, mother, and me behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrellas of the funeral attendees walked towards us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read out loud the continent.
And now, I shall read Harold Anderson's last will and testament. And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
What?
It's pretty chill.
I couldn't believe my ears. I had earned the family estate at 18? That was impossible, and yet it was written by my own grandfather's hand.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Dear.
Well, did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company? No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position. Even to the bitter end, he wouldn't give in. What a stubborn old man.
Shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Damn.
Are you sure we should?
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
He is fucking salty out the ass.
He does not like you.
What do you think?
No, I think the thing is he wanted the estate, but nope, surprise bitch, it's to me. I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my father think that I was the appropriate heir to the mansion? Was I even ready to live on my own?
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
David.
Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car.
I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him. Why don't we get back home now?
No, he didn't fucking care. You can go ahead to the car, Mom. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh, of course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral grounds and it was completely empty, save for a few sullen-looking graves that was laid in front of me. I'm sure if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all of this, it would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they pass away? Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab in the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. You told me to stay strong, but right now I'm the farthest from it. like that one time, a long time ago. Grandpa!
Oh, it's so good to see you again, sweetie.
I was swept in a giant bear hug, and we both laughed as he swung me around like an airplane. It was my favorite things after seeing my grandfather. The way he greeted me, unlike my father, my grandfather was loving and playful, even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It had always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, saying that he was busy with work or wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
Yeah. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy says that there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we could go?
Oh, I would love to. But I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see?
Ooh, yes. Ooh, is that a toy?
Yes. I was designing a new line of them. But I feel like something's missing. You don't think you could help me out, could you?
Of course. He placed the toy in my hands with a smile, and I inspected it carefully. It was beautifully crafted, and obviously a lot of work had been put into it. There was one thing, though.
So, what do you think?
I think the heart on its chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like it's alive, and it can be a little nightlight before you sleep. He stroked his chin, considering my input, while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle.
That's a great idea. I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my little lucky charm, dear. You always know what to add to make the perfect toy.
Well, I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa.
You want to make toys as well?
Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I want to make toys when I grow up, though.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should make what makes you happy as well.
That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it the same way, though.
Your father. I'm sure he just wants the best for you.
I'm not so sure about that.
Sweetie, look at me.
He bent down to look at me eye level with a serious look on his
As
face.
much as your father may say something that doesn't make sense now, you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that. And you need to love him just as equally.
I don't hate Daddy. I do really love him. I don't know why he's like this, though.
Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past. But it's nothing that you should be concerned about.
I heard tidbits of this from my mother and various other people. The only people who had stayed quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever happened set a wall between them. It's hard, though, trying to pretend as if nothing was wrong.
However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world. But always remember that your family and friends will be here with you. Daddy, Mommy, your friends at school, me. We'll stand together to get through it.
How can you be so sure about that?
Because we'll be right here and here.
He pointed his finger to my head first, then pointed to my chest.
So stay strong. Promise?
For a moment he looked almost sad, pleading, as if quickly he had come an expression appeared in his face and he was all smiles again. Promise. Upon hearing that, Grandpa let a great burst of laughter and stood up.
All right, then. Enough of that. I'll whip up some special homemade dessert. I know I can't accompany you at that new cafe, but we sure can talk and eat while I cook and do some paperwork.
Homemade dessert? I'll race you to the kitchen.
Hey, slow down there. I'm not what I used to be.
You will be the very home I love to see you in. Why? Why would you think I'd be ready to take it? Especially after all this. A surgeon... Nope. I'm not reading that, I guess. I'm sorry. It's hard to stay calm when you've left me so many questions. Especially about what happened between you and Dad. What am I doing? Talking to a grave.
What happened? I know what happened.
What?
Heck happened.
Shut the fuck up! This is actually supposed to be sad, goddammit. My vision blurred, and I suddenly realized I was crying. My face heated up as tears rolled down my cheeks. I'll bring you some flowers later. I miss you, Grandpa. I'll try my best to fulfill my promise that I gave to you. Even if the world might be turned against me. I left the grave, wiping my tears hastily so my parents wouldn't see.
Well, it's time to head back home. I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
Gathering my courage, I decided that it was time to talk. Dad, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Why did you want me to move into the estate so
I
soon?
thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes? Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about into my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling.
What if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman. Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
Do you even care that Grandpa passed away?
Of course I do.
Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things could be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
It's not...
I don't like you.
It's like nothing ever happened at all. Like, you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
What did he ever do to you to deserve this?
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal. Like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Is that it? Are you happy seeing Grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, were you holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces? Did you just feel a bit happier seeing Lyman in the graveyard? And he slapped me.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut! You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
Is
Who's
everything
capable
alright?
of cake?
What happened?
Shut up! Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and... I want this bedroom, by the way. Look how purple it is. I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down it to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheeks still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked in the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
You're right. Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
I'm fine, I just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though. And I don't want you taking any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
I wanted to tell her. Part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had just done, but at the same time I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the evening remain in the past.
I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it.
Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know... What? Jacob, what? I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything to get my mind off what just happened. Anything would be better than thinking any more about the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my father's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I should be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while before finally finding 2 large bags. Pulling them out into the floor of my room, I began to empty my drawers and cabinets so I could bring all my things with me.
Burn down all my things.
I didn't have much to bring, other than just clothes and some toiletries. It was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly hadn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. I shook my head to rid myself of those thoughts. If it were going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it. One way or another, I was going to have to make it a home. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began ringing and vibrating in my pocket. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it, slowly easing myself onto the bed. Who could possibly be calling?
Hey, Anderson, you there? Is everything all right? We were worried about you, so we decided to call. Hello?
I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, even though it was only a whisper.
What happened? Are you okay?
Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what happened. To my relief, Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how
Jacob, goddammit!
Sorry.
No, it's okay. My dad is in a good mood, so we could just keep talking on the phone like this.
Of course! We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu? Yeah. We're always here if you need us. After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang. Yeah? I mean, we're all taking on the world together. We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously. What's with you and naming things? You've got to step up your game, Naomi. Falling behind to the cool kids like Anderson and me. Hey! I'm a cool kid! If anything, I'd say you have to step up your game.
We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon I had forgotten about the events that day and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show, some program called Herlock. We all agreed that the actor playing the titular character certainly had a very distinctive look about him, with that long overcoat and a scarf wrapped around his neck. We had many disagreements. Yeah, we had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. Yeah, he has really high cheekbones, and his eyes are pretty, though I have to say I prefer Jotson. And as a bonus, his actor is just so sassy. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall and realized how late it was. Whoa, it's already 1 a.m.? Sorry to keep you guys up so late. I think I'm gonna hit the hay for the night. See you guys at school tomorrow. I should probably shower and go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just to talk to my friends. But it was nice. Well, to the bathroom I go. I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. After drying myself, I promptly dressed in my pajamas and crawled into bed. A nice shower after a long day. I'm so glad to finally be in bed. It had been a really long day. I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. I have to go back to school tomorrow. Ugh. I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped the blankets around me. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me go just for the sake of it. It's time to go to sleep. I reached out to the lamp on my nightstand to turn off the lights. However, my mind was a little lost in the passing of my grandfather and the thoughts of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night, until the next morning. I shook my head to try and clear the sleepiness out of me to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. It's already time to wake up? Wait, school. As soon as I realized I had to go to school, I slid out of bed and looked at the vanity mirror. That's a relief. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. You had to squint to actually see it. I doubt anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned in really close. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught the bus to go to school. It wasn't even hours before anyone heard of the news. I was approached at school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends.
Anderson house to yourself. Lucky as hell, man. Quit being so sensitive, Naomi.
Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
Suzu's right, Naomi, or Naomi's right, Suzu?
I don't mind.
There's
You
no.
choose this one.
Suzu's right.
Of course you would side with her.
See, at least she knows how to have fun.
Do you mind?
Oh god.
I know how to have fun. You don't need to be wild to have fun.
Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
I know, but my parents want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
Of course. But even the comfort of my best friend's life seemed to be kept testing me. Oof.
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that. Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Capini?
She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her finger. Lisette, one of the last people I wanted to see today.
It's not me you should be apologizing to. Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
I'm alright.
Haven't you already heard, Lizette?
Of what?
Her grandfather's passing.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news. It doesn't really sound like you mean it. I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Typical Capini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something? I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out the bat from behind her back right this moment.
I had nearly forgotten the crowd that had followed the set, which was mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. No one had the slightest idea of what exactly they followed the set around persistently, but they labeled themselves as social equals with her.
That is out of line. Suzu comes from an honest family.
Says the one whose family profits from political scandals.
Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians.
Hey, let's all calm down for a second, all right? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
Just stop. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have said everything you wanted. No, seeing you like this, life couldn't get any better. Bitterness seeped into me. The words started flying out of my mouth without a filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw the set in front of me. What exactly am I to you? Am I just another part of your obstacle course? Is that what I am? I'm sick of it, Lisette. I'm sick of all these charades. I'm sick of you. Gasser ran from the crowd around her. I was brought back into the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me in surprise. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but Lisette held her hand out to stop her. There was emotion in her face, and I couldn't quite make it out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. No, don't you dare pity me. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right to look at me in that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
She stepped towards me and put her hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile after for old time's sake. But for some reason I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry with her, but the expression on her face when she leaned close to me contorted into something complex. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something for her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
Something about Lisette made me feel uncomfortable. I wasn't just angry, but also uneasy. What was it? I had never seen her like that before. I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hall with her gaggle of friends behind her. I refocused my attention to Miss Phillips, who was walking down the hall towards me.
Is everything all right, girls? Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. T. Just a bunch of snobs.
Suzu, hush. It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips.
I see. Well, Mrs.
Do you mind?
Please accept my condolences for you.
Thank you, Miss
Your
Phillips.
grandfather was a good man. He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies, and the money that went towards charity, too.
I know, he was amazing. I really looked up to him, and I wanted to be as good as he was.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather.
Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Would I? Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations for me. I wanted to do my best to make my family proud, but to be better than my grandfather? I wasn't sure about that. From outside the school window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, my ride's here. I guess I'll see you both tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
No, it's okay. I'll be fine. See you. Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at the steering wheel and looking straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
No, it's nothing to worry
I
about.
mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you. You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have.
You're my most precious daughter. You're the only thing I have. GG, man.
I love how he says you're my most precious daughter, even though I'm his only daughter.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yet he couldn't bring himself to say he was ever saying to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt, but I guess even now he couldn't say it to me. I turned my head to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that wasn't going to come. And like that, he started to drive, and the conversation between us ended. I decided to focus. Okay. We were taking the usual route to Grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district.
Wait. I love how he's just standing on the gearbox.
That's how you drive in fucking Japan.
Just stand on the fucking gearbox. No, that's how rich people drive.
He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age, living in such a large house. I wondered, did he pass away with no one on his side as well? It sounded so lonely and so sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time, maybe living alone was preferable to that. Actually, I hadn't visited for quite a while. Visits to his house were most frequent when I was a child, but I had grown up long since then. The last time, though, I thought he just looked as he normally was, happy and healthy. But things changed. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. So why did my heart feel so heavy? The car ride was mostly spent in silence until he spoke up
How
again.
was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
Yeah, I've been trying my best so far.
Trying?
Yeah,
That's not really doing the best you
maintaining
can.
my grades.
With my father, only some words I said were filtered through his ears. What?
Do you want to end the video? I need to show you something.
Okay. I guess we're ending the video here because he wants to show me something, and we'll check back in the next episode. Bye bye.